Thursday, January 18, 2024, Daily Bread. Title: The Israelites did not listen to their judges. Judges chapter 2, verses 11 to 23. Key verse 17. Yet they would not listen to their judges, but prostituted themselves to other gods and worshipped them. They quickly turned from the ways of their ancestors, who had been obedient to the Lord's commands. Judges chapter 2, verses 11 to 23, NIV. Then the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord and served the Baals. They forsook the Lord, the God of their ancestors, who had brought them out of Egypt. They followed and worshipped various gods of the peoples around them. They aroused the Lord's anger because they forsook him and served Baal and the Ashtoreths. In his anger against Israel, the Lord gave them into the hands of raiders who plundered them. He sold them into the hands of their enemies all around, whom they were no longer able to resist. Whenever Israel went out to fight, the hand of the Lord was against them to defeat them, just as he had sworn to them. They were in great distress. Then the Lord raised up judges who saved them out of the hands of these raiders. Yet they would not listen to their judges, but prostituted themselves to other gods and worshipped them. They quickly turned from the ways of their ancestors, who had been obedient to the Lord's commands. Whenever the Lord raised up a judge for them, he was with the judge and saved them out of the hands of their enemies, as long as the judge lived. For the Lord relented because of their groaning under those who oppressed and afflicted them. But when the judge died, the people returned to ways even more corrupt than those of their ancestors, following other gods and serving and worshiping them. They refused to give up their evil practices and stubborn ways. Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel and said, "Because this nation has violated the covenant I ordained for their ancestors and has not listened to me, I will no longer drive out before them any of the nations Joshua left when he died. I will use them to test Israel and see whether they will keep the way of the Lord and walk in it as their ancestors did." The Lord had allowed those nations to remain. He did not drive them out at once by giving them into the hands of Joshua. Daily Bread. First, the Israelites' stubborn hearts. The Israelites had no spiritual leader, so there was chaos and corruption. God raised up judges to lead the people back to him, and it worked for a while, but eventually they returned to their old ways. God could provide spiritual leaders, but the main problem was the Israelites' stubborn hearts that didn't want to obey God. We have to recognize our own stubbornness too. Many times we are soaked into sin. We blame, complain, and make excuses. But the problem is not external, it's internal. We need to change our heart and attitude. If we are stubborn, God cannot work in us. All of us make mistakes and fall into sin, but what matters is that we turn back to God with repentant hearts and seek to be changed. Our heart attitude matters. Second, the people became even more corrupt than their ancestors. If sin in our heart is not dealt with, it doesn't stay the same, it grows. That's why we have to deal with it seriously and cut it off before it gets worse. Sadly, we see this a lot in generations of broken families. One set of parents passes on pain, bad habits, and deep emotional wounds to their children. The following generation learns that and passes it on to their own children. It continues to hurt so many family members because no one is breaking the chain of sin. So what will be your legacy? We have the choice to break the chain of sin and pass on blessings to the next generation after us. But it means seriously dealing with the sin in our heart. We need God's help to cast it out and for His power to transform us so that we can live differently than our family and the rest of the world. Prayer. Lord, please forgive my stubbornness and blindness. Help me honestly examine my heart in front of you. I need your help to cast out sin and be changed so that I can be a blessing to myself and the people around me. One word, have the right heart attitude in front of God.